The gentle hum of the UES Phoenix's engines filled the bridge as Captain Kate watched the alien delegation leave through the airlock. Something felt off about their visit, but she couldn't quite put her finger on it. The Stellar Confederation representatives had been polite, even friendly, during their 3-day stay aboard humanity's most advanced spaceship, yet their smiles never quite reached their eyes. Tom's voice crackled through the ship's comm system, breaking her chain of thought. "Captain, you need to come down to engineering. Now." The chief engineer's usually calm voice carried an edge of worry that made Kate's stomach twist. "On my way," she replied, already heading for the lift. The ship's corridors, normally bustling with crew members, felt eerily quiet. The soft blue lighting that ran along the walls pulsed steadily, but even that familiar sight did little to ease her growing concern. When the lift doors opened to the engineering deck, Kate immediately knew something was wrong. The air felt thick with tension, and the usual background noise of machinery had an odd, discordant note to it. Tom stood at the main control panel, his weathered face illuminated by the red warning lights flashing across the screens. "Look at this," he said without turning around, his fingers dancing across the display. "These readings started changing right after our guests left. At first, I thought it was just normal fluctuations, but..." He pulled up a diagram of the ship's power grid. Various sections were highlighted in angry red. "They did something to our systems, Captain. The sabotage is subtle, but it's spreading." Kate leaned in closer, her eyes narrowing as she studied the display. "How bad is it?" "Bad." Tom wiped sweat from his forehead. "They somehow introduced a cascading failure into our main systems. The power grid, life support, navigation, they're all showing signs of degradation. We've got maybe 3 days before critical systems start failing completely." The captain's hands clenched into fists. "Can we fix it?" "That's the thing," Tom said, pulling up another screen filled with code that made no sense to Kate. "This isn't just damage. It's like they infected our systems with some kind of technological virus. Every time we try to repair one system, the problem shows up somewhere else." They knew exactly what they were doing. Kate turned to face the large viewport that showed the endless expanse of space. The nearest human outpost was weeks away at their current speed, and even that assumed they could maintain power to the engines. Options. "We're working on it, but..." Tom hesitated. "Captain, I've never seen technology like this. The way it adapts, the way it spreads, it's far beyond anything humans have developed. They must have been planning this for months." The ship's lights flickered, as if emphasizing Tom's point. Kate watched as several crew members rushed past, carrying diagnostic equipment and toolkits. Why? Why would they do this? "Think about it," Tom said, his voice low. "We show up in their space with the Phoenix, the most advanced ship humanity has ever built. We're newcomers to their galactic community, but we're advancing faster than any species they've encountered. Maybe we scared them." A young technician approached them, tablet in hand. "Sir, we're seeing problems in the auxiliary power systems now. Whatever they did, it's spreading faster than we anticipated." Kate felt the weight of command settling heavily on her shoulders. 300 crew members were depending on her to get them out of this mess. "Tom, I want you to put together a team. The best engineers we have. Work in shifts if you have to, but find a way to stop this." "Already on it, Captain." Tom turned to the technician. "Get Mike from Quantum Systems up here. Tell him to bring everything he has on alien tech analysis. If we're going to beat this, we need to understand how it works first." The next 12 hours passed in a blur of activity. Kate moved between the bridge and engineering, watching as her crew fought against an invisible enemy that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once. The ship's systems continued to degrade, but slower now that they had identified some of the attack vectors. In engineering, Tom and his team had taken over an entire wall with diagrams and data streams. Mike, the young quantum systems specialist, sat cross-legged on the floor surrounded by tablets and portable computers, his eyes red from staring at screens for hours. The way this thing moves through our systems, Mike said, looking up at Kate as she entered. It's like it's alive. Not actually alive, but it adapts to everything we try. Traditional antivirus measures are useless against it. Show me, Kate said, kneeling beside him. Mike pulled up a visualization of the ship's computer network. Streams of red moved through the system like blood through veins, splitting and recombining in patterns that seemed almost organic. See how it reacts when we try to isolate a section, he demonstrated, and the red streams immediately found new paths around the blockade. It's the most advanced programming I've ever seen. A loud bang echoed through the deck, followed by the screech of tearing metal. Emergency klaxons began blaring as the deck plating beneath them shuddered. Status, Kate shouted into her comm. Primary power coupling just blew. Tom's voice came back, tight with stress. Switching to backups, but we're losing power faster than predicted. We've got maybe 36 hours now, not 3 days. Kate stood, her mind racing. They needed help, but the nearest stellar Confederation world was even further away than the human outpost. Not that they could trust them now anyway. The Sabotaged had made one thing clear. Humanity's so-called allies saw them as a threat to be eliminated. Mike, she said suddenly, you said the programming is the most advanced you've ever seen. What if that's our advantage? The young engineer looked up, confused. What do you mean? They gave us access to their technology. Yes, they're using it against us, but it's still here, in our systems. We can study it, learn from it. Tom joined them, his face streaked with grease. You want to analyze the virus while it's actively trying to destroy our ship. That's risky, Captain. Riskier than doing nothing, Kate asked. They think they've beaten us. They think humans will just give up and die out here. But they don't understand who they're dealing with. Mike's eyes widened as he caught on to what she was suggesting. We could set up isolated systems to study how it works. If we understand the basic principles, we might be able to do more than just stop it, Tom finished, a glimmer of hope appearing in his tired eyes. But we'll need time. Another shudder ran through the ship, and the lights dimmed momentarily. Kate steadied herself against a console. Time is something we don't have much of. But we have the best crew in the fleet, and we have something else the Stellar Confederation didn't count on. What's that? Mike asked. Human stubbornness, Kate said with a grim smile. They think this virus will destroy us? Fine. Let's show them how humans deal with threats. We don't just survive them. We learn from them, adapt them, and come back stronger. Tom nodded slowly, then turned to his team. All right, people, new plan. I want 3 separate research teams set up. We're going to take this thing apart piece by piece. Mike, you're leading the analysis team. Jenny, get any power rerouted through the emergency systems. We need to buy ourselves more time. The rest of you, start preparing isolated testing environments. Let's show our alien friends what happens when they underestimate human ingenuity. As Kate watched her crew spring into action with renewed purpose, she knew the real battle was just beginning. The Stellar Confederation had tried to eliminate a potential rival, but their sabotage was about to backfire spectacularly. Humanity had never been good at accepting defeat, and they were about to learn it the hard way. The Phoenix's engines hummed beneath her feet, struggling against the spreading virus, but still fighting. Like her ship, Kate and her crew would not go quietly into the dark void of space. They would fight, adapt, and overcome. And when they were done, their ship would be more than just repaired. It would be transformed into something the galaxy had never seen before. Mike hadn't slept in 20 hours, but his eyes were wide with excitement as he stared at the holographic display floating above his workstation. The alien code danced before him in complex patterns that were starting to make a strange kind of sense. Next to him, Tom leaned forward, his own exhaustion forgotten as he watched the simulation play out. There, Mike pointed to a particular sequence. See how it responds. It's not just a virus. It's more like a living program. Every time we try to stop it, it learns and adapts. But that's not even the crazy part. He tapped a few commands, and the display shifted to show a deeper layer of code. Look at the base structure. Does this remind you of anything? Tom squinted at the flowing symbols. Wait a minute. That looks almost like the quantum processing theories we were working on back on Earth. The ones everyone said were impossible. Exactly. Mike's voice cracked with excitement. They're not just trying to destroy our ship. They're using technology that proves our theories were right all along. The Stellar Confederation must have figured this out decades ago. The ship shuddered around them, another system failing somewhere in its vast bulk. They had managed to slow the spread of the alien sabotage, but they were still losing the battle. The Phoenix's hull groaned like a wounded animal. Captain Kate's voice came through the comm system, tense but controlled. Engineering, we just lost gravity control on decks 5 through 8. How's that analysis coming? Captain, Mike replied, his fingers flying over the controls. I think you need to come see this. We may have found something big. When Kate arrived a few minutes later, she found her engineering team gathered around Mike's station, their faces lit by the blue glow of the holographic display. The young engineer could barely contain himself as he explained what they'd discovered. The aliens didn't just give us a weapon to destroy ourselves, he said, pulling up diagram after diagram. They accidentally gave us a key to understanding their entire technological base. This virus is built on principles we theorized, but could never prove. Until now. Tom stepped in, his weathered face animated. Think of it like they handed us a dictionary to translate their tech into our language. We're not just learning how to stop the sabotage, we're learning how their most advanced systems work. Kate watched the flowing patterns of light, remembering the smug expressions on the alien delegates' faces as they left the ship. Can we use this? Better than that, Mike said, pulling up a new display. We can improve on it. Look, their quantum processing is amazing, but it's rigid. They follow the rules they discovered centuries ago, but they never thought to question them. We humans, though, we love breaking rules. The next few hours were a blur of activity. Mike and Tom led teams working in sealed labs, studying the alien code and testing theories that would have seemed insane just days ago. They lost auxiliary power to the cargo decks, but nobody complained about carrying supplies up manual ladders. Every crew member knew they were racing against time. Kate split her attention between the bridge and engineering, watching as her crew pushed themselves to their limits and beyond. The ship's doctor made regular rounds with stimulant shots, keeping key personnel awake and focused. They couldn't afford to rest, not when every hour brought them closer to total system failure. The thing is, Mike explained during one of their hurried meetings, his hand shaking slightly from too much caffeine, they designed this program to attack our systems in ways they thought would be unfixable, but they based that on how their technology works. They never considered that we might approach problems differently. Tom nodded, pointing to a section of code displayed on the wall. Human engineering has always been about working with what we have, improvising when we need to. Their tech is more advanced, but it's also more structured. They don't adapt the way we do. So how do we use that? Kate asked, focusing on the practical implications. Mike grinned, looking almost manic with exhaustion and excitement. We let the virus think it's winning, but instead of fighting it directly, we're going to give it a path into systems we've prepared. Systems that look normal, but are actually experimental quantum processors we're building based on their own tech. Like a trap, Kate said slowly, beginning to understand. More like a maze, Tom corrected. Once it's in our test systems, we can study how it works in real time. More importantly, we can learn how to control it. The very thing they're using to destroy us could become the foundation for upgrading the Phoenix beyond anything they imagined possible. A loud alarm blared through the ship, and red warning lights began flashing. Main reactor showing signs of instability, the computer announced in its calm voice. Containment failure possible in 3 hours. We're out of time, Kate said, straightening up. How long do you need to implement this plan? Mike and Tom exchanged looks. The test systems are ready, Mike said. But redirecting the virus, studying it, learning to control it, that could take days. We've got hours at best. Then we'll have to work faster. Kate's voice was firm. I'm not losing this ship, and I'm not letting them win. Whatever resources you need, whatever personnel, they're yours. Just make it happen. The engineering deck became a hive of controlled chaos. Crew members who had never worked together before formed seamless teams, following Mike's theoretical insights and Tom's practical experience. They cannibalized non-essential systems, rebuilding them into quantum processors that barely anyone understood, but everyone hoped would work. As they worked, more systems failed across the ship. Life support was running on backups, and the artificial gravity flickered unpredictably. But with each passing hour, they understood more about the alien technology that was trying to destroy them. It was like reading a book written in a foreign language, difficult at first, but gradually becoming clearer as they recognized patterns and principles. Look at this, Mike called out suddenly, drawing everyone's attention. On his screen, a small section of alien code had been isolated in one of their test systems. As they watched, it attempted to spread and adapt as it had been programmed to do. But this time, something was different. The code hit the boundaries they had created and began to change in ways its creators had never intended. It's working, Tom whispered, leaning in closer. It's actually working. Kate watched the display, not understanding all the technical details but recognizing the hope in her engineers' faces. What exactly am I looking at? Mike's eyes were bright despite his exhaustion. We're not just stopping their virus, Captain. We're learning how to speak its language. And once we can do that... He paused, a slow smile spreading across his face. Well, let's just say the Stellar Confederation is about to learn that they made a very big mistake. The ship groaned around them, systems still failing, but now there was a new energy in the air. They weren't just fighting for survival anymore. They were on the verge of something revolutionary. The aliens had meant to destroy them, but instead, they had handed humanity the keys to technological advancement beyond anything Earth had achieved before. The next step would be the riskiest, implementing their theories across the entire ship. But as Kate looked at her crew's determined faces, she knew they would find a way. The Phoenix was about to rise from its own ashes, transformed by the very weapon meant to destroy it. The main reactor chamber pulsed with an eerie blue light as Tom and his team worked. They had less than an hour before total containment failure, but nobody's hands shook as they installed the newly modified quantum processors. They couldn't afford to make mistakes, not now. Power levels dropping to 30%, the computer announced calmly. Warning lights cast red shadows across tired faces as crew members raced against time. Mike sat cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by tablets showing streams of alien code. He spoke into his comm unit, guiding teams throughout the ship as they prepared for what he called the upgrade of the century. Nobody mentioned that if he was wrong, they would all die in the cold vastness of space. Ready at Junction 4, a voice crackled through the comm. Junction 7 standing by, came another. Tom looked at the reactor's pulsing core, then at his tablet showing an ever-dropping power curve. Mike, if we're going to do this, it has to be now. Captain Kate's voice came through the ship-wide comm. All non-essential personnel, move to the emergency shelters. Engineering teams, stand by for power redistribution. This is not a drill. Mike took a deep breath and nodded to Tom. Initiating quantum transfer in 3, 2, 1. He pressed his hand against the main control panel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the blue light of the reactor flickered and died completely. The ship went dark. In the pitch blackness, someone whispered, "Did it work?" A new light began to grow. Not the familiar blue of the reactor, but a strange, shifting purple that seemed to move with a life of its own. The emergency lights flickered back on, powered by the last of their backup systems. The virus is responding, Mike said, his eyes fixed on his displays. It's following the path we created, moving through the quantum processors exactly like we planned. Tom watched as indicators across his screen began to change. Power levels rising. 10%, 20, 30. The deck plating hummed beneath their feet with a new note, different from anything they'd felt before. Across the ship, systems that had been dead or failing suddenly sparked back to life. 50%, 70. We're past normal operating capacity and still climbing. Kate's voice cut through the excitement. Engineering, what's happening down there? We're getting some strange readings up here. It's working, Captain, Mike said, his voice filled with wonder. The virus isn't just being contained, it's being integrated. We're using its own adaptive properties to enhance our systems. The quantum processors are acting like translators, teaching our technology to speak their language. Through the viewport, crew members could see the strange purple glow beginning to spread through the visible power conduits of the ship. The Phoenix was changing from the inside out. Captain, the ship's AI announced suddenly, its voice somehow different, richer, more alive. I am detecting significant improvements in all major systems. Processing capacity has increased by 400% and rising. Kate stepped onto the engineering deck just in time to see the main display wall transform. Instead of the usual basic readouts, it showed complex three-dimensional representations of the ship's systems that moved and flowed like liquid light. The AI, Mike explained, pointing to the display, it's evolving. The quantum processors we built using their technology, they're not just improving our hardware, they're changing the way our whole ship thinks. Tom was moving from station to station, checking readings with an expression of disbelief. The power grid isn't just repaired, it's reconfiguring itself, becoming more efficient. The virus tried to destroy us by spreading through our systems. Instead, we're using its spread to upgrade everything it touches. Incoming transmission, the AI announced. Stellar Confederation vessel detected at long range. The crew froze. They weren't ready for a confrontation, not in the middle of such massive changes to their systems. But as data continued to flow across their screens, Mike began to smile. Captain, he said, I don't think we need to worry. Take a look at these weapon systems readings. Kate studied the displays, her eyes widening. The Phoenix's defensive capabilities had been impressive before. Now they were off the charts. But more importantly, she could see entirely new systems coming online. Technologies they had never dreamed of installing. The ship's hull, Tom reported, it's restructuring at the molecular level. Some kind of self-repairing metal using principles from their quantum tech. And the engines, he shook his head in amazement. We're going to be able to outrun anything they throw at us. The purple glow had spread throughout the ship now, settling into a steady pulse that matched the rhythm of the new power systems. Crew members emerged from their shelters to find their stations transformed, displays showing capabilities that would have seemed like magic just hours ago. Multiple Confederation vessels now detected, the AI reported. They appear to be on an intercept course. Let them come, Kate said quietly. Tactical, give me a full analysis of our new capabilities. Engineering, I want to know everything this ship can do now. We're not running from them. We're going to show them exactly what happens when you underestimate human ingenuity. As her crew scrambled to understand their transformed ship, Kate walked to the main viewport. The Phoenix had been the pride of Earth's fleet before. Now it was something else entirely, a hybrid of human creativity and alien technology, transformed by the very weapon meant to destroy it. The ship's AI spoke again, its voice now carrying subtle harmonics that made it sound almost musical. Captain, I believe you should see this. I am detecting capabilities in our new systems that even the Confederation has not developed. It seems that by forcing their technology to adapt to our methods, we have created something unique. Mike looked up from his station, his exhaustion forgotten in the excitement of discovery. That's what they never understood about humans, Captain. They gave us a puzzle, thinking we'd try to solve it their way. Instead, we took it apart and built something better. Their mistake, Tom added with a grin, was thinking we'd just give up and die. They didn't realize that humans have been taking things apart and improving them since we first picked up stones as tools. Through the viewport, they could see the first glimpses of the approaching Confederation ships, still hours away at normal speeds. But the Phoenix was no longer bound by normal limits. Its hull gleamed with a subtle purple sheen, power coursing through newly formed quantum circuits that defied conventional physics. Kate smiled as she watched her crew work, already mastering systems that hadn't existed hours ago. The aliens had tried to eliminate a potential rival, but they had only succeeded in pushing humanity to evolve faster than anyone could have predicted. The Phoenix wasn't just repaired, it was reborn. The Stellar Confederation fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel in a dazzling display of light, their ships arranged in an attack formation that might have been intimidating just a day ago. Now, as Captain Kate watched them approach on the Phoenix's enhanced sensors, she felt only a calm certainty. 5 heavy cruisers, 3 destroyer-class vessels, and what appears to be their flagship, the AI reported, its evolved voice carrying subtle tones of curiosity. Their weapon systems are powered up, but their shields show signs of inefficiency that our new sensors can detect. Mike hadn't left his station in engineering for hours, fascinated by the continuing evolution of the ship's systems. "Captain, you need to see this. The quantum processors aren't just running the ship anymore. They're improving themselves. Every minute we're getting stronger." A communication request flashed across the main screen. Kate straightened her uniform and nodded. "Accept transmission." The alien commander appeared on screen. His scaled face, set in what they had learned, was an expression of superiority. "Human vessel Phoenix, your ship is showing unusual energy signatures. Power down your systems immediately and prepare to be boarded. This is your only warning." Kate smiled slightly. "I'm afraid we can't do that, Commander. You see, we've been making some improvements since your last visit. Would you like to see them?" The alien's face shifted to a deeper shade of green. Anger, they had learned. "Your species' arrogance is remarkable. You were meant to be eliminated quietly, avoiding unnecessary conflict. Now you force us to make an example of you." "About that," Kate replied, glancing at her tactical display. "Tom, why don't we show them one of our new tricks?" In engineering, Tom grinned and entered a series of commands. The Phoenix's hull rippled with purple energy, and suddenly the ship split into perfect duplicates. 5 identical vessels surrounding the Confederation fleet. "Impossible," the alien commander sputtered. "This is beyond your technology level." "It was," Kate agreed. "But we've had some help. Your Sabotaged program made an excellent teaching aid, though I don't think we're using it quite the way you intended." The tactical officer's console lit up with warnings. "Multiple targeting locks from the Confederation fleet, Captain. They're preparing to fire." "Defensive systems status?" Kate asked calmly. "The new quantum shields are operating at 400% of our original capacity," the AI reported. "Additionally, I have developed 14 new defensive protocols based on the combined knowledge of human and Confederation technology." The alien commander's face had lost its superior look, replaced by something closer to fear. "Stand down, humans. You don't understand the forces you're playing with." "Actually," Mike's voice came through the comm, "I think we understand them better than you do now. Your technology is impressive, but it's stable, unchanging. You never thought to question it, to push its limits. But that's what humans do best." The first shots from the Confederation fleet lit up space and passed harmlessly through 4 of the Phoenix duplicates. The real ship's quantum shields absorbed the rest of the barrage, the energy rippling across their surface in beautiful patterns. "Return fire?" the tactical officer asked. Kate shook her head. "No, show them something else instead." The Phoenix's hull began to glow brighter, the purple energy coalescing into visible streams that connected all 5 projections of the ship. The AI's voice carried a note of pride as it reported, "Quantum field stabilized." ready to demonstrate new faster-than-light capabilities. In engineering, Mike and Tom watched in amazement as their improvements took on forms they hadn't even imagined. The ship wasn't just using the alien technology, it was reinventing it. The quantum processors, Mike said excitedly, they're not just computing anymore. They're rewriting the laws of physics on a local level. The aliens use this technology to follow rules. We're using it to break them. The Phoenix and its duplicates began to move in perfect synchronization, creating geometric patterns in space that seemed to bend reality itself. Each movement left trails of purple light that formed complex, mathematical structures. On the Confederation ship sensors, alarms were blaring. They had never seen anything like this before. Their own technology, refined over centuries, was being used in ways they had never imagined possible. "What you're seeing," Kate told the increasingly agitated alien commander, "is what happens when you give humans a puzzle to solve. We don't just find the solution. We rewrite the rules of the game." The Phoenix's duplicates suddenly collapsed back into the original ship, but the purple energy patterns remained, forming a complex web around both fleets. The AI announced, "Captain, I am detecting quantum entanglement effects on a massive scale. We can now predict the Confederation fleet's movements before they make them." The alien commander's transmission crackled with interference as their systems struggled to cope with the Phoenix's transformations. "This is unprecedented. Your ship should have been destroyed by our program." "Here's what you don't understand about humans," Kate said, leaning forward in her chair. "We learn from everything, even from attempts to destroy us. Your sabotage program was complex, yes, but it was rigid, designed to follow specific patterns. We saw those patterns and found ways to change them, to improve them." As if to demonstrate her point, the Phoenix's hull suddenly became translucent, then shifted through various states of matter before returning to its solid form. The quantum processors had given them control over the fundamental properties of their own ship. "Captain," Mike called from engineering, "the AI is showing signs of another evolutionary leap. It's not just running the ship anymore. It's starting to understand the underlying principles of the universe in ways our scientists never dreamed of." The Confederation fleet held their position, weapons still armed but no longer firing. They were witnessing something unprecedented, a ship that had taken their most advanced technology and transformed it into something new, something that defied their understanding of what was possible. "Your ship," the alien commander said slowly, "what have you turned it into?" Kate looked around her bridge, at the displays showing capabilities that seemed more like magic than technology, at her crew working confidently with systems that hadn't existed a day ago. "We've turned it into proof that humanity deserves its place among the stars. You tried to stop our progress, but you only succeeded in accelerating it." The Phoenix's sensors detected power fluctuations in the Confederation fleet, signs of confusion and uncertainty in their ranks. Their perfect formation began to waver as they faced something their centuries of technological development hadn't prepared them for, a species that didn't just use technology, but transformed it. "The question now," Kate said to the alien commander, "is what happens next. We could demonstrate more of our improvements, but I don't think that's necessary, is it?" The commander's scales had paled to a lighter shade of green. He looked off-screen, presumably at his own readings of the Phoenix's capabilities, then back at Kate. When he spoke again, the superiority was gone from his voice, replaced by something that might have been respect or fear. "Perhaps," he said carefully, "we should discuss this situation in more detail." The meeting room aboard the Phoenix hummed with its new energy as Captain Kate sat across from the Stellar Confederation commander. The purple glow from the ship's transformed systems cast strange shadows on the alien's scaled face. Between them, a holographic display showed the incredible changes the ship had undergone in the past day. "Impossible," the commander muttered, watching as the display demonstrated the Phoenix's new capabilities. "Our best scientists spent centuries developing these technologies. How did you manage this in mere hours?" "Because you gave us no choice," Kate replied simply. When humans are backed into a corner, we don't give up. We get creative. Your sabotage program wasn't just a weapon to us. It was a textbook, a challenge, and an opportunity all rolled into one. In engineering, Mike and Tom worked with their teams, still discovering new possibilities in their hybrid systems. The ship's AI had evolved to the point where it could predict their needs before they voiced them, ringing up relevant data and suggesting improvements they hadn't even considered. The quantum processing matrix has achieved another breakthrough. The AI announced, its voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate with the ship itself. I am detecting similar possibilities for advancement in the Confederation fleet systems, though they remain dormant due to current programming limitations. The alien commander's eyes widened at this. You can read our ship's systems. We can do more than that, Mike said, joining them in the meeting room. His uniform was wrinkled from hours of non-stop work, but his eyes were bright with excitement. We can improve them. Your technology is incredible, but you've been using it the same way for so long that you've stopped seeing new possibilities. Tom entered behind him, carrying a data tablet showing complex quantum calculations. Your sabotage program was designed to exploit what you saw as weaknesses in our systems. Instead, it showed us how to make our systems more adaptable, more alive. The Phoenix isn't just a ship anymore. It's becoming something entirely new. As if to emphasize his point, the walls of the meeting room briefly became transparent, showing the space around them, where the Confederation fleet hung in formation. The commander flinched, but Kate remained calm, knowing the ship was simply demonstrating its enhanced capabilities. The quantum processors we developed, Mike explained, they don't just compute. They learn, adapt, and evolve. And because we built them by combining your technology with human innovation, they can do things neither of us thought possible. The ship's AI joined the conversation, its holographic interface showing the complex web of improvements spreading through the Phoenix's systems. I have analyzed the complete history of Confederation technological development. Your species achieved remarkable advances, but became conservative, focusing on perfecting existing systems rather than exploring new possibilities. And humans? The commander asked, a new note of respect in his voice. Humans, the AI replied, approach problems differently. When faced with established rules, they instinctively look for ways to bend or break them. This creates inefficiencies, but also leads to unexpected breakthroughs. The combination of Confederation precision and human creativity has produced something greater than either could achieve alone. Kate watched as understanding dawned on the alien commander's face. You intended to eliminate us because you saw us as a potential threat. But what if instead we could be partners? The commander looked at the displays showing the Phoenix's transformed systems, then at his own fleet's readings. You could have destroyed us when we attacked. Why didn't you? Because that's not who we are, Kate said firmly. Humans can be aggressive, yes, and we fight fiercely when threatened. But what we really want is to explore, to learn, to grow. We don't want to dominate the galaxy. We want to help make it better. Mike pulled up new data on the holographic display. Look at these readings. The quantum processors aren't just improving our ship. They're showing us ways to improve everything around us. More efficient power systems, better medical technology, faster and safer space travel. But we need your experience to help us understand it all. The commander was quiet for a long moment, studying the data. When he spoke again, his voice had lost its earlier hostility. In all our history of encountering new species, none has ever done what you've managed in the past day. We thought we were protecting the galaxy's stability by controlling the spread of advanced technology. Perhaps we were wrong. The Phoenix's systems pulsed with a gentle light, and the AI displayed a new set of calculations. I am detecting potential compatibility between our new hybrid technology and all known Confederation systems. Estimated improvement in overall efficiency, 300%. Potential new technological developments. Calculating. The numbers that appeared made both humans and aliens in the room catch their breath. The possibilities were staggering. "What you've created here," the commander said slowly, "could change everything. But change can be dangerous." "It can also be wonderful," Kate replied. "You tried to stop our progress because you feared what we might become. Now you've seen what we can do when pushed to our limits. The question is, do you want to keep seeing us as a threat, or would you rather see what we can accomplish together?" Tom stepped forward, offering his tablet to the commander. "We've already drawn up plans for how we could safely share these improvements with your fleet. No weapons, no military applications, just better engines, more efficient power systems, improved life support. A gesture of good faith." The commander took the tablet, his scaled fingers moving across its surface as he read. His eyes widened as he understood the implications. This level of technological advancement, freely shared. "Knowledge grows when it's shared," Mike said with a smile. "That's something humans learned a long time ago. Besides, we're going to need help understanding all of this. We may have stumbled onto something amazing, but we're still new to galactic civilization. We have a lot to learn." The ship's AI interrupted with a new announcement. Long-range sensors detecting additional Confederation vessels approaching. Estimated arrival time: 6 hours. The commander looked at Kate. "The Confederation Council. They will want to see this for themselves." "Good," Kate said, standing, "because we have a proposal for them. The Phoenix isn't just a ship anymore. It's proof that our species can work together to create something greater than ourselves. Instead of trying to control the flow of technology through the galaxy, what if we work together to improve it?" The purple glow of the ship's systems seemed to brighten, as if responding to her words. The AI displayed a new set of calculations, showing the potential benefits of cooperation between human innovation and Confederation experience. "Your sabotage program was meant to be our end," Kate continued. "Instead, it became a beginning. The question is, are you ready to be part of what comes next?" The commander looked around the room one last time, at the impossible ship that had taken their most advanced technology and transformed it into something new, at the humans who had done in hours what his people hadn't managed in centuries. Finally, he nodded. "I will speak to the Council on your behalf," he said. "They need to see what you've accomplished here, what we might accomplish together." As the commander left to return to his ship, Kate stood at the viewport watching the Confederation fleet. The Phoenix hummed around her, its new systems still evolving, still growing. They had not only survived the attempt to destroy them, they had turned it into an opportunity to change the galaxy itself. The ship's AI spoke one last time, its evolved voice carrying a note of optimism that seemed very human indeed. "Captain, I am detecting the formation of new quantum possibilities. The future, it seems, is about to become very interesting." Kate smiled. Humanity's first steps into the galaxy hadn't gone as planned, but maybe that was fitting. After all, doing the unexpected was what humans did best.